I'll give this about Utah Tech. They are at an elevation at 2,700 feet, at least, based on what you see. So it's kind of a warm up for what the Bulldogs will see this weekend at New Mexico. I mean, the balls will fly a little bit more. They had a big ballpark like Air Force in New Mexico do. But elevation and big ballpark aside, Fresno State should not get swept by Utah Tech in baseball. All right. They should at least get one game, and arguably they should have gotten both games. Right? It was their own mistakes that once again have cost them a series that they should have at least gotten one game. I'll go over the games 1-2, then you'll see why. They lost the first one 17-13. They only used 3 pitchers. Tyler Patrick got the start, and you got to give the coaches this. They are trying to find an answer after Friday started. Patrick, he gave up 9 earned runs in 2 innings. I mean, he has been terrible at the slot. I'm not sure who they can go with next. Obviously, he did better at the Saturday starts. He pitched great at Stanford. He pitched, well enough against Pepperdine and so forth. So I don't understand. It doesn't. They tried Drew Townsend, he gave up 4 runs in 5 innings in this game. But even in spite of all that, the Bulldogs batters managed to make a 13-14 score, and B.J. Rodriguez comes in, and the other team in the bottom of the 8th scored. The Trailblazers got 4 runs. Now, granted, 2 of them were unearned. There were 3 errors in this ball game. And that, 2 errors, the 3 when the other one. But the point is that this team just cannot play complementary fundamental baseball in this losing skid. I don't care where you are. 13 runs should be more than enough to win. And that's one good thing about this last few games is the bats have come out. They've been scoring enough runs. Munster has been huge having him back. But the pitching, I mean, it's not just one guy. All throughout the losing streak, whenever the team gets the lead or ties things up, no matter who the pitcher is, the coaches have tried different guys. They cannot keep the game tied or they cannot hold the lead. It's incredibly frustrating. And game 2 was not any different. They had to lead multiple times late in the game, all right? And in game 2, that was much more of a committee. Jordan Javier, a freshman, got the start, went 2 innings, allowed 2 earned runs. Not bad. Thornberry didn't go any in 2 innings. Vic Ariola came in, gave up nothing. Doug Crystal came in, had no earned, and Will Payar-Jalen went 202 innings and gave up a bomb in extra innings to win. I mean, like I said, it's not just one pitcher, but what's incredibly frustrating about Game 2 is you had an error that, again, 3 errors in that game. Mikey Boyd, I don't know. Why not just move Cam Schneider back to third base? I mean, he's not great at the position. We've been spoiled by Murph Gray, but I don't think he's making as many errors as Boyd has. And right now, I don't think they can really have the ability to do so. I mean, the Bulldogs, after the 8th, had a 6-4 lead, right? Then because of an error, the game is tied. Now, a wild pitch by Thornberry don't help. All right? He can't do that. He's got to pitch cleaner. But he's got a chance in the top of the 10th after Placinger gets a single home run to give you a 7-6 lead. And you gave up a walk, and then you gave up a home run. That is fundamentally on you as a pitcher. You cannot give up 3 bases like that. And at Utah Tech, certainly you can't give them up in Mexico. You give them up against the Lobos, they're going to score on the runs, and you're going to lose. All right? That is not a ballpark that is built to be a pitcher's friend. All right? If you have not followed Fresno State baseball regularly and you have not seen it, that 17-13 score, wacky ball as I call it, that is a regular feature in Air Force in New Mexico. The Bulldogs got to go there both times for the only regular season conference games of the year against those 2. And at 0-3 in the hole, they have to win at least one of those series. All right? And the pitching, they're young, but you need guys who are upperclassmen, Ariola especially, Townsend, guys who were big in your rotation last year, in your bullpen. You've got to perform. Or even like Doug Crystal, guys who are pitched in college before. You have to step up, and they aren't. All right? Now, notice I've been using a few past tenses when it comes to this losing streak, and that's because they defeated Long Beach State 8-1 in the midweek game. And it's good we got the losing streak over and have some positive momentum, but I know what you think when you hear the score 8-1. Oh, it sounds like the Bulldogs did pretty good. And offensively, yeah, Munster is showing why we need him in the lineup. I mean, and not just on the field, batting wise, he at first base he made a couple really nice saves for Brady Hewitt. That made a real difference in the seventh inning. That kind of snuffed out a dirtbag would-be rally, but the pitching wasn't clean. Vic Ariola got the start, and he had a bases loaded situation, 1 out, and during the losing streak, that at least be 3 runs, but they didn't get nothing. That was good. But again, you cannot have situations like that in conference. You certainly can't have them in Lobo land. I mean, I understand Vic Ariola was hurt most of last year, and there was a point where it was wondering if he couldn't come back from baseball, but dude, you've got to perform. I mean, in 2024, it was either him or Cremarosa that was the setup man. It was like Ariola in the 7th, Cremarosa in the 8th, and Tommy Hopfield in the 9th. Very powerful bullpen in the game at conference. Last season, Cremarosa moved up to be a Saturday starter. He was named Mountain West Pitcher of the Year, got drafted by Tampa Bay. Ariola has not done what Cremarosa has done. And the Bulldogs need him to, right? It's obvious he's going to be one of the weekend starters. Whether that's going to be in as a Sunday, Saturday, whatever. You need him, a guy like him, to step up. You have to. I mean, the biggest problem during that losing streak was pitching. I mean, when you give up 9 runs to Nevada, who, again, lost the home series to Air Force, that's on you, dude. That's on you. All right, and Ariola, you feel like I'm dogging him and picking on him, and that's not true. I mean, he only gave up 1 run, but I'm saying he didn't pitch the whole game. He pitched let me see the stat line here. He pitched 2 innings, gave up nothing. BJ Rodriguez came in second inning, and again he had a sticky situation where you need him, who he pitched last year. Showed good stuff early this year. And he got out of it, but he had 2 walks. And you can't do that. You need to do better. He was in an issue and 1 hit bat. So he had a bases loaded situation here. He issued 2 walks and a hit batsman. So that could have very easily also led to runs. All right? You can't play with fire like that. That's really why they've been losing. After him, Wild Thornberry came in. He did okay, 1-1, to give up nothing. Then Moose Curlier came in, and oh my god, dude. I mean, 2 walks, 1 hit base, bases loaded again. I gave the coaching staff credit; they were really aggressive when it came to that. They shoot him out. I mean, the coaching staff the whole game did coach aggressively. They brought Inford in the first round and the first inning when they had bases loaded. They knew they couldn't get anybody out. And honestly, I've been screaming at the radio on the feed when I've been watching them just to do that, Like in a close game, if you let 2 men out, take them out right away, okay? It's not rocket science to see when the pitcher don't have it, all right? If you give up 2 leadoff hits or whatever in late in the game, take them out now. That's what you got the bullpen going for, Let me give you an update real quick about terms of pitching. Parker Hines is not going to be out for a while because he had appendicitis. Nothing the team could do about that. If you've had appendicitis, that can be really painful. All right, and I've had one of those. They suck. So we're going to be down there. We're down there pitcher. All right. But that doesn't mean guys like Doug Crystal. He came in and I believe it was the 8th, I think it was, came in. Weston Thornberry came in. The guy who got the ERA was Moose Currier. That was the only one they had. They finished off with Tyler Patrick in the top of the 9th. He gave up 2 hits, but they didn't score at all. So it was a really nice play late in the game by Marcus Nolan from out, then strike him out, throw him out at second base, caught him there. So again, we saw good things in the field from that point on. The fielding has gotten better. It feels like there's more communication. When you lose Elite Trevino, who was your leader there, and you could get him back, and your leading hitter coming back, that obviously made an impact. But they're still making too many mistakes to get away with them in the rest of the year. I mean, that's just where they are. And the fielding has to be clean in a place like New Mexico. I want to make someone clear when you go to Lobos this weekend. It's almost all turf. All right, I think the only dirt is around the pitcher's mound. That's it, because of how windy it is there. So when you give up rocks or hit batsmen, those often turn to runs or home runs. And that's how you lose games there. So you have to play cleaner than this. You have to. If you play clean baseball, you get at least one game from Nevada. I don't know if you get a series win at Air Force, Arizona, but I think at the very least you don't start this horrible losing skid. I think you get at least one there, maybe. You don't lose to CSUN. You don't lose the series to Utah Tech. This baseball team can still turn things around if they get a win at New Mexico. Because this is not a good conference. I've watched other teams around and everybody else is having trouble pitching. The one thing the Bulldogs have is their pitching staff is still very young. I mean, you look at Nevada's, they ain't young. They are what they are. Same with other staffs, all of other ones. So the Bulldog pitchers could come around, start pitching like they have to. The Bulldogs can't go on a run. They've only played one conference series, but they have to win this series at New Mexico. Period, end of story. That's why getting that Long Beach State win was so big. But we'll see. I mean, we went 1-2 this past week. They experimented around. Ethan Payne has proven himself as bad. He deserves to stay in the lineup. I'd like to see more of Ryan De La Mesa. But we'll find out who does what. In a series like Mexico, it's often about who hits more. Pitching is not really a factor there, but you'd like to see good ones. Keep it down, low strikes and so forth. But we'll see. We'll see how it goes. Last trip ever for the Bulldogs as mobile land ever in baseball, unless New Mexico somehow joins the pack. I don't see how they do, but we'll see. Hopefully not. I'm happy to be leaving that wacky ball situation behind. But it's a big weekend for the Bulldogs. You get a series win. Don't need a sweep, just a series win, and you might have turned the season around. We shall see. But we'll find out. Baseball is on you. Basketball over. I mean, we got spring training. Football still going on. But it's really behind camera. And the only real place to get regular updates on that you can follow is maybe Al Scott. But Barkboard on Jackson Moore for sure. I'll make a video about what we've heard so far later in the week. But for now, go Dogs.